The international community's reaction to Trump's approach is fascinating. It seems like he's prioritizing a quick end to the war over ensuring justice and accountability for war crimes. What do you think about this, Speaker 2?
That's really interesting. I mean, on one hand, stopping the bloodshed sounds like a noble goal, but, doesn't ignoring war crimes set a dangerous precedent? Like, what if other countries start thinking they can invade their neighbors without consequences?
Exactly. That's a huge concern. You know, it's like when you're playing a game of chess and someone suggests skipping all the rules just to finish the game faster. Sure, it ends quicker, but it undermines the entire structure of the game. In this case, the game is international law and order. If we ignore war crimes, it could embolden future aggressors.
Right. And what about the victims? Imagine if after World War II we just said, let's move on, without holding Nazi leaders accountable. That would have been unthinkable.
Absolutely. The Nuremberg trials were crucial for setting a precedent that war crimes won't be tolerated. Now, with Ukraine, there's a real risk that if justice isn't pursued, it could send a message that such actions are acceptable. Plus, it could erode trust in international institutions like the International Criminal Court, ICC.
Oh, wow. So, it's not just about punishing the bad guys. It's about maintaining global trust in these systems. But what about the European countries? They seem pretty adamant about being part of any negotiations. How are they reacting to Trump's approach?
Good question. Europe is definitely feeling the heat from this conflict. They've been providing significant support to Ukraine, both militarily and economically. So they're wary of an approach that might undermine Ukraine's position at the negotiating table. For instance, 7 European countries, including Britain, France, and Germany, insisted they be part of any future negotiations. They want to ensure Ukraine is in a position of strength.
That makes sense. It's like they're saying, hey, we've been in this fight too, and we need to protect our interests. But what about the US's traditional allies? Are they on board with Trump's plan?
Not entirely. Many allies are concerned that Trump's approach might prioritize short-term peace over long-term stability. They worry that without addressing the root causes and ensuring accountability, the conflict could flare up again. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a deep wound instead of treating the underlying infection.
Right. That's a great analogy. So, it's not just about stopping the fighting now. It's about making sure it doesn't happen again. But what about the Ukrainian people? How do they feel about this?
Well, President Zelensky has been clear that Ukraine must be involved in any talks. He's emphasized that there can be no talks on Ukraine without Ukraine. The Ukrainian people have suffered immensely and they want justice. They don't want to see their sacrifices go unrecognized or unavenged.
That's so important. It's like if you're in a fight and someone else comes in and tries to broker peace without even hearing your side of the story. Do you think there's a way to balance both stopping the war quickly and ensuring justice?
That's the million-dollar question. Some experts suggest a phased approach: first secure a ceasefire and humanitarian aid, then establish mechanisms for accountability. It's like putting out a fire while simultaneously investigating how it started. This way, you address immediate needs without sacrificing long-term justice.
Wow. That sounds like a tough balancing act. But what about the bigger picture? Could this shift in U.S. policy signal a broader change in how the world handles conflicts?
Absolutely. It could indicate a shift towards more pragmatic diplomacy where immediate cessation of hostilities takes precedence over idealistic goals. However, it also risks